Jai Jinendra, and welcome on this Sunday afternoon to our beautiful Jain Center. This is a very special event, and on behalf of the Jain Center and its members, I welcome all of you. This is a real milestone for our culture and making it a success by having your presence. I thank you very much and I appreciate. I would welcome Dr. Nitin Bhai Shah now, who is going to MC this event. Nitin Bhai, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason Bhai. Good afternoon. Jai Jinendra, Sat Sri Akal, and Namaste. I put people to sleep and wake them up. That's what I do. So, it's a challenge to me. How many of you fall asleep?
What'd you say?
Somebody is already asleep. Thank you. Thank you all seriously for being here on a Sunday afternoon for this very, very auspicious and proud moment for Jain Center of Southern California and the donors that you will learn soon. Before I start, I will request 5 beautiful women to come up and say our prayers, which is a Omkar mantra. Mrs. Savita Ben Mehta, Ms. Rita Ben Parson, Kokila Ben Dosi, Usha Ben Wadar, and Kinna Gandhi. Please come up, don't feel shy. If you come up, fine. If not, I'll give you mic down. Yeah, it's fine.
Jai Jinendra. Namo Arihantaram, Namo Sitaram, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Eso Panchanamokaro. Sarvapavapanasano Mangalanam ja Sarvesim Padamam Havai Mangalam Padamam Havai Mangalam. Jai Jinendra.
Thank you. When we originally announced, I put in an hour and a half, thinking that that might be also a little long. As time has gone by, thanks to the grandfather, Dr. Sulekh Jain, and others, we have gone a little bit more about what we are going to do, but I'm still hoping that we will wrap it up in an hour and a half. I would like to start with welcoming several of you. Some of you are here for the first time. Loyola Marymount University officials, because of whom, and the donors that we are here primarily. Vice President David Sapp was planning to be here, but unfortunate things happened and he's under the weather, so he's not here. We wish him good luck to recover fast and be there tomorrow, right, Donna? Dean of Bellarmine College of Liberal Arts, Robin Crabtree. Dosi Professor Christopher Chappell. Senior Director of Development, Donna Gray, and Jain and Sikh Professor, Ranjan Khalsa, and Mrs. Maureen Chappell. Our Sikh brothers, besides Dr. Arvinder Singh Jain, whom we don't call his Sikh anymore, because we don't call Sulekh Jain, he's Sulekh Jain Sahota, but we appreciate all the other Sikh brothers who have chosen to join us. And I'm going to read names, and if I miss, my apologies. Doctors Harvinder and Asa Sahota ji, Mr. Avinder Chawla and his son Mr. Arvind Chawla, Paul Singh, Harbhajan Singh Samara, Mr. and Mrs. Gajinder Singh, Mr. and Mrs. Gurinder Singh, and Mr. Manmeet Singh. Also, for the first time, we have an opportunity to have University of California, Riverside, Srimad Rajchandra Endowed Jain Chair, Endowed Chair in Jain Studies, Mrs. Anna Bazeli and her husband Matisse. We also have amongst us University of California San Diego Professor and Jaina Vice President, Mrs. Kokilaben Dosi, her husband Prafulaben, Prafulbai. Thank you.
I thought you were there.
Rajan Bhai, you put me to sleep. My apologies, Prafulbai. Jain Center Executive Committee members, Board of Directors, and all other members. Thank you for being here. And if I forgot somebody, my apologies. I do know I haven't mentioned an Ingram Professor of Claremont Graduate Universities, Philip By Clayton, who is well known to us, and he's here. And we also have somebody who's spent 10 years in India, Miss Rachel Hamerlin from, I forgot, are you still in India or you're from here? But we will hear from her and she will tell all about that. And now we move on to the next, that is the lamp lighting as a traditional Indian ceremony. And I will request few people, of course we have 5 lamps, please join hands. I will request Dean of Loyola Marymount University, Professor Chris Chappell, the donors, Harshad Bhai and Rakshaben Shah, and Dr. Jason Bhai Modi. And if Mrs. Ravi Jain and Mrs. Sahota can come and join them, we will appreciate. Come on up. Please, Mrs. Jain, Mrs. Sahota. Yes, they are electrical. There's a switch in the back. Let everybody be here and turn it on. This There's an electrical switch at the bottom, so turn it on. Please.
Sure.
Well,
Pretty soon you'll just click in it on
Go
the cell
ahead.
phone with a picture.
very good. Go ahead.
It's actually easier to light a candle. I know. See? He's having a candle.
There's a light, turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's right.
Right.
That's why you can light
try to remember this. We got that in 2011 when we did the first CLE program.
They brought this up and it's like, you were there maybe 6 months later. We came, met you after the council, we had a meeting. How did you talk to us?
It's just the same one we had at Claremont.
Oh, it's just Dr. Sutherland.
Good, thank you. Next is a recognition of two individuals. I will do the first one and then we will call upon Dr. Sulekh Jain. And before I do that, I'd like to share some history of Jain academic education in Southern California for sure, but in the country. And in the interest of time, if you think I have missed something, I probably will deliberately not go all over. I was approached in 2011 by Dr. Sulekh Jain from Houston and Mr. Dilip Shah from Philadelphia, that Mr. David Lincoln has donated money to Claremont School of Theology to start faith-based education primarily of 4 religions back in India. That's the religions that started in India: Jain, Sikh, Buddha, and Hindu. And as the luck would have it, Jain was the first one which approached the then Claremont Lincoln University, which still exists, but we are not affiliated anymore. But I was to help International Summer School of Jain Studies, and that's another interesting history. In 2004, Dr. Sulekh Jain started to send students from America and other parts of the world to India to learn about Jain principles the way it's practiced in India. And at the same time, we started Ahimsa Center here, and Dr. Manibhai Mehta and myself, we are the founding partners, and of course a lot of others have joined, at Kelpoli, Pomona. And we call them Ahimsa Center, and Professor Tara Setia is the director. It took 7 years for us to join hands, and in 2011 we started Claremont Lincoln University when I got to know Philip Bai the first time. He was the provost of Claremont Lincoln University. It was fun time. We had a junior lecturer, Brian Donaldson, join in the 3rd year. We did 3 events of 2 days, gathering people on bioethics, women's role and business ethics, etc. And then things changed. The CLU thought about changing the direction, and rather than having on-site classes, they wanted to have all online, and also they didn't want to address religion per se. They wanted to do interfaith and a broader perspective wherein they will have other religions talk about. So we literally parted ways. But the fruits of those 3 years of our experience brings all of us here today. During that time, we started talking to many universities. We had gained some experience, and what we were looking for is any university who is willing to coin and use and say and add Jain and religion or Jain studies into the programs. Because we had learned that if you don't have that, if you develop under any other pretext, no matter how you say, you may not cover at least what we would like, I personally would like, and some of our donors would like, the 3 main principles of Jains. Jain religion, Ahimsa, Anekantvad, and Aparigraha. So it is during that time that I got to know Philip Bai very well. And it used to be that even for these 3 conferences, which was attended by anywhere from 100 to 200 people each year, the Claremont Lincoln University, under his leadership, appointed me to be the chair, which is not very common because I'm not part of them. And that built a very good relationship. And to honor your commitment, Philippi, we would like to invite you to receive a shawl on behalf of Jain community. We appreciate your contribution and we look forward to a lot more of it. I will request Kina to bring and Dr. Modi and Dr. Jain to come forward to recognize Philippi. Please. And just to add, Philippi has spoken during Jaina convention also, and he will be helping us in the next Jaina convention as well. We need the light to do that, maybe we can go upstairs.
On behalf of our center, we welcome you and thank you very much for all you're doing here for Thank you very much.
For a lady, right? Or it's okay?
I don't know, select. Except that you get very low.
We're going to keep him here. We're going to keep him here for the next. So. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, we will have to ask you. Before we go to the next person, I will invite Loyola Marymount University Dean to tell us about Loyola Marymount University.
So I went when I went in the next one, it can be hard not to let my wife take it.
Especially without my shoes, which I rely on to fool everyone as to my real height. Thank you so much for the beautiful welcome that we have had today, for the beautiful meal that we have shared, and for what has already been a moment of real culmination of long-standing partnerships and shared interests. In touring the temple today, I've become more aware of common roots we have linking to Howard Hughes, the building where our theological studies program is housed at LMU, and also the dean's office and the president's office used to be the headquarters of Howard Hughes. And so that is a wonderful connection we share with regards to the center and particularly the beautiful Jain Temple replica that we see in the lobby. The other one is the lion. LMU's animal is the lion. That's our spirit animal. And Chris has been telling me, and I learned today, that the lion is also a very important symbol of Jainism. So I love when those synergies happen. It's a beautiful thing. So let me first send greetings from our president, Timothy Law Snyder, our provost, Thomas Poon, and our vice provost, David Sapp, who also happens to be my husband. And while he has the cold, he's sleeping in the guest room. Who all would have enjoyed being here today, but I think, as you know, with the holiday weekend, people are traveling. As the Dean of the Bellarmine College of Liberal Arts, it's always, it deserves being sort of elaborated that within liberal arts, theological studies and philosophy are in Jesuit education's companion disciplines at the core of everything we do. And while religious studies, whether it's the study of world religions and cultures or the serious study of religious texts and histories and theologies, happens at every university, it is not at the center of every undergraduate education as it is at Loyola Marymount University. And so when we offer classes in Jain and Sikh studies and other Indic religions, we actually offer those classes to every single undergraduate who can take those classes as part of their core curriculum. So I like to put that out there. We have a distinctive educational heritage that is Ignatian in its inspiration, coming from the orders of the Jesuits, the Sisters of the Sacred Heart of Mary, and the Sisters of St. Joseph of Orange. And all of those orders take their inspiration from St. Ignatius of Loyola. I think many people know that the Jesuits have, for centuries, believed in encountering and even adopting world religions, and that as a manifestation of what they see as a true Catholicity and certainly an Ignatian spirituality is to accompany people and find shared beliefs, shared traditions, and a shared sense of values. And so those things bring us here today. While we are grounded in the Roman Catholic tradition, at LMU, we take seriously the study of all world religions, and we explore with our students and we live with our faculty and staff deep engagement with the different traditions of the world as part of being a responsible partner in interfaith dialogue and interfaith conversation. We're interested in our students encountering questions of faith, both in relationship to their own tradition, whatever it is, and also in relationship to others' traditions. We want students to think about different manifestations of the divine, as that has been explored in all of human history, but also as lived in their daily lives, to develop lives of meaning and purpose that are grounded in a sense of spiritual practice and deep values. So there's an intellectually rigorous exploration, but there is also an encounter with the ineffable, an encounter with the possibilities of faith, and our students of theological studies go even deeper in all of this. Over these years, and I know we'll talk more about Chris Chappell, but Chris has been a bridge across communities in the Southland, and particularly across with Jain and Sikh communities. It's been a delight to have Niranjan and briefly Mukta on our faculties, and to have been able to encounter so many of you coming to events we host or that you have sponsored, and to be celebrating a consolidation of our partnership today. So with gratitude and again with welcome and gratitude and thanks from the leadership at LMU, thank you for your partnership, thank you for your friendship.
Now I'm going to request Professor Dr. Sulekh Jain, whom we all know. For those who don't, I call him grandfather of Jain academic education in North America. I've known him for many years, but much more since 2011. And I still remember his call, that was I think in 2009. When I was in Atlanta visiting a temple there, he called saying that you need to do this, and I said, yes, we will talk. That didn't happen for 2 more years, but anyway, he has been involved in all the professorship chairs that we have, not only in Southern California, which are about 7 now, and also all over the country. And every other week he keeps giving me some good news of either a done deal or a progress that's happening somewhere. And he has known people around the world. He is my encyclopedia of Jain education and the people involved, not only in America, all over the world. Dr. Jain, please.
Nathan and I, we have a partnership of mutual admiration. He praises me and I praise him. So whatever he said, please do not believe any of those. It's just a purely a respect he gives me. First of all, Jai Jinendra to all of you. Please say with me, Jai Jinendra. I would like to give a round of applause to a person, again, Dr. Philip Clayton. Quite a lot we are here because of him. And this small recognition, Philip bhai, we are not honoring you. You are honoring us by being here, by accepting our small ideas, or small the respect that we hold for you. So we thank you what you have done since I remember coming to your house for dinner on September 5, 2011. Okay? And because all of this Southern California, where we are celebrating, where we have the presence, all because of you. Your signatures are everywhere.
Thank you, Slakshi.
So thank you. The other person that we are going to talk about, honor today, is an institution himself. Lot bigger than he looks. I'm talking about Dr. Christopher Chappell. And even the Dean, I thank you, Dean, for giving your very nice remarks and opening up the LMU for us. But I think all of you sitting here, probably I have known Chris longer than any of you have. His wife, of course. It was December 1989. December 1989, I had gone to Ladnu in Rajasthan. I was there with Acharya Tulsi for a couple of days. And there, one Jain Sadhvi, she was doing Sanlekhna or Santhara. I exactly do not know how many days she was.
28.
28. Okay. This means without food, without water, nothing. 28 days. And I did her darshan, and probably you went there 1 week after me. Okay, I do not know who went first, but so that's where I came to know of him. So that was in 1989. Then we kept on in touch with each other, and July 1998, that was we funded the Jain Academic Foundation of North America. We funded a 3-day international seminar on Jainism and ecology at Harvard University with a funding of $25,000. And you were leading that charge, okay? International Scholars Camp. So I remember that. Then I go on how much he has done and how much he has opened. Early 2000, I had been to JVB Ladno several times. Acharya Mahapragya ji, he said we need to do something to upgrade that Jain University. And the professors over there who were teaching and also the students, they were mostly Jain nuns. And they had never been to a university. They had never seen how a university works. So I went to his office. And I tell you, please take a look. You probably will charge you $5 to visit to his office. It was so beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful view he has on his office. So I went to him. I said, we want to bring 2 Samanis, 2 Jain nuns, to spend here about 6 months at LMU, attending classes every day like a student. Okay? And he said he will do that. And somehow, I forgot who hosted them for their food, but he is the one who made that possible. And one of the scholar, one of the student, she became a vice chancellor of JVB Ladno. Okay, thank you, Chris, for doing that. 2004, which Nitin Bhai mentioned. No, I know you will be asking me, hurry up, but this is a guy who I cannot forget how much he has done. 2004, when we were starting Jain Academic Education or International School for Jain Studies, Chris has been there from day one, guiding us, mentoring us, teaching us, and probably has hardly missed any year. You've been there probably every summer when I cannot go in that hot and humid weather. He will go there. He's been conducting classes for those teachers, those professors who teach ISJS classes. He has been teaching them how to teach American, how to keep the interactive dialogue, interactive discussion. So our school has progressed. And by the way, so far we have more than 900 people from 28 universities who have gone to that program. He goes there, he teaches, he mentors, he guides. Every year he has not missed. Again, thank you. Several years ago, an Oberoi Foundation was established. And this is a foundation which was created by a Sikh gentleman, Dr. Mahendra Singh Oberoi, who gave $8 million. And his wish was not to teach just Sikhism, but to teach all the 4 major religions of India, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism and Hinduism. What a magnificent, what a great mind. Okay, normally we are so controlled that we all think of ourselves. So that foundation was created and Chris has been there every year. He is on their board, and because of the donations, because of the grant that we got from Oberoi Foundation, 3 years ago we created a clinical professorship in Jain and Sikh studies, the first one of its kind in this country. Okay? Where we wanted to bring the Jains and Sikhs together because we learn from each other. And I will not take much time again, but you know the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh. In Patna, he was born in a Jain family. For 6 years, he was raised by a Jain family. Of course, his parents were there. And the Patna Takht Sahib, the land was donated by the Jain. And next to that, on the other side of the wall, the Jain temple, and on side is the Gurdwara. And Narendra Kaur Khalsa did all that research. So thank you bringing us, finding how much interconnections we have. Again, thank you. when we were at Claremont Lincoln University on September 2006, 2011, you know who did the keynote speech? It was you, Chris. Okay? I remember that. So how many places you have been, I just cannot, even summarize. So when I start talking about him, I think one has to write a book just to describe him, what this person is. I have a long list here I wanted to read, but I know the time will be short. But he is a scholar of all the religions of India, Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, and Buddhism. You have taught all of those classes. Also, you are Prakrit and Sanskrit and Hindi and few other languages. And you are a Doshi Professor of Indic and Comparative Theology and Director of Master of the Arts and Yoga Studies. Now, coming back, Chris serves as academic advisor for the International Summer School of Jain Studies on the advisory board of the Forum for Religion and Ecology at Yale University. At Ahimsa Center, Pomona, you've been from the beginning, which the Jain community created. The Jain Studies Center, SOAS, School of Oriental and African Studies at London University. In 2002, he established the first certificate program. So there are a lot of long list, number of publications, number of books, number of so many things. So again, you have been very instrumental. Now, how do I define Chris? Chris is a multi-talented person, a highly respected scholar, an author, a great speaker, a superb teacher, okay, mentor to many, inspired, dynamic, most trustworthy, honest, sincere. By the way, I did not write down from books all these. These are my sincere comments about him. Dependable, visionary, humble, compassionate, hardworking, impeccable character, a yogi, you do yoga practice. And of course, he is my dear friend. So, this world, I would say, this world is full of no's and excuses. But Chris is a man who is full of yeses and yeses and yeses. Today, in honoring Chris, the Jain and Sikh communities also honor LMU for their vision, openness, and the welcome mat for Jain and Sikh Studies program at LMU. We sincerely thank you. My brothers and sisters, I have the highest honor to present to you my dear friend, Professor Christopher Chapel.
That's true. That's true. Or at least the what? Looks good. You look good.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jain. Thank you, Chris. I don't think thank you does any justice to what you have done, so we'll just pass on. You know, there's one saying, reward of good work, more work.
Yes.
So, as long as we are in agreement with that. Good. Thank you, Chris, and trust you us. We have more good news or more work for you. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Modi mentioned about the winter program that we are starting this December, January in India. Well, Loyola Marymount University has said that they will look into seriously committing to a certificate for the programs if it continues year after year. This particular one, they didn't have enough time to go through, but from 19 and 20, they plan to give all the participants. So, thank you, Dean. Thank you, Chris, and all the officials. Now we are at a point of the main ceremony that we are all here for. Bhagwan Mallinath endowed professorship in Jain studies. And this follows the path that the Jains and Sikhs combined took 3 years ago. And just on record, Professor Niranjan Khalsa is sitting right here. This is her 3rd year of teaching that class. Thank you so much. Fourth. My apologies, I'm behind. Yes, it's already a new year, gee. I will just say one comment that we received 3 years ago in November when Professor Khalsa emailed us saying that after learning about Jain principles, few American students have given up non-vegetarian food. So, Jain principles, yes, but it was your teaching and impact. Thank you very much, Niranjanji. Thank you, appreciate it. When we were in the 2nd year of this Jain and Sikh professorship, we started talking about where do we go from here. And by that time, we were in few universities. So, the mainstay, the main sponsor of all the universities in Southern California is Drs. Meera and Jaswant Modi. And when we were talking about this, it's but natural that we talk to him, and he says, well, let's find out what will it take to endow. And we started talking with Chris and the dean, and finally we all agreed on the terms, and Dr. Modi brought in Harshad Bhai and Rakshaben Shah. And just for the record, he wants me to always mention Raksha and Harshad Shah before we mention Dr. Modi. And so they are the main sponsors for this endowed professorship. And I will now request Loyola Marymount University Dean, Donna, and Harshad Bhai Rakshaben and Dr. Jaswant Bhai to come on the stage here and do the signing ceremony of the Bhagwan Mallinath endowed professorship. Please. Donna, you have got to lead the way.
Oh, okay.
Come, Rakshaben, Harshad Bhai. So just for the record, you will be signing 3 times, 3 copies. While they do the signing, just to keep abreast of people who are relatively new here, we started with Claremont Lincoln University, we moved to UC Irvine for a chair, We started negotiating with UC Riverside for a chair. We separated from CLU, but went on to start a graduate course at Claremont School of Theology. Then we moved to San Diego State University, where Kokilaben taught a course. And actually, we are in negotiations with San Diego State University to do Jain and Sikh course together. Just like we would hear a little bit later about why should we combine from a Sikh brother. We are also in Cal State Fullerton. We are also at Cal State University of Northridge and Loyola Marymount University. While this was all happening, Dr. Modi and others, especially Mr. Maheshbhai Wadar and Ushaben Wadar, they are actually the main sponsor for UC Riverside, along with Dr. Modi's. They also agreed to contribute towards a university in Long Island, New York. Yes, all the way to the other side. We have supported financially Rice University in Houston, where we have a fellowship program, and Ms. Brianne Donaldson, who was here, is a teacher at Rice University. We, but Dr. Modi supported professorship in North Texas, Dallas as well. Dr. Jasunbhai and Miraben have made this a mission. So, years to come, we will have Jain education flourish in academic institutions. And just for the record, can you guess how many chairs there are in North America for Jewish religion? 200 plus. So now you probably have some idea of one of the reasons why Jewish community, even though less than probably most minorities, have got good influence on the political arena of this country. With that, are we done, Donna, with all the signatures? Well, one more round of applause. Thank you so much. And I'm going to request, just a minute. I'm going to request Raksaben, Arshadbhai and Dr. Modi to say a few words. By the way, when we finish, we will have a vegan tea from soya milk with a snack. Those of you who have questions about Jain Center, please, we can certainly talk. I know I did give a brief tour to people who were there, but if anybody wants to go over again, we'll be happy to do that. Raksaben, Harshadbhai and Jasunbhai, we're looking for a speech from you. You got to speak. If you feel shy, I'll bring the mic to you, no problem. The mic can go to, remember guys, I mean, I understand, we are all here just because of Three and of course Miraben also. Raksaben. No, Raksaben is going to say something.
Thank you everyone. I guess that's how I'm not prepared for the speech. So thanks anyway again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for all intelligence today, and making Jain education known. It seems to be at the heart, and I want to make it known and universal. And in that quest, several of my friends have joined me at a different university, and in this particular one, I appreciate Raksha Ben and Harshad Bhai joining and pledging and making this possible. They are also my partner in the chair at the UCI. In a UCI endowed chair, I also have a friend who is my partner, Raju and Nita Saab, who are here as well. And we have an endowed chair done at UCR, in which I have several friends, and one of them, Mahesh Bhai and Usha Ben Wadar, are here. And that is the first chair that has been advertised and position has been filled, and I'm happy to announce that Anna Basilji and her husband, they both are here, and Anna has accepted the position of an endowed chair here at the UCR, and we thank you very much. So things are progressing, and we appreciate everybody's support, effort. Dr. Sauda has been inspiring me quite a bit in many endeavors. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, if you want, we can move on back to the... Thank you so much, Donna, Chris, Dean, donors. We still have a few minutes to go with the program, but I will take you a little bit into the history of our Jain Center for a moment. Both the families, Raksha Ben Harshad Bhai and Dr. Jason Bhai Modi, along with two other families, we call them as pillars of this Jain Center in terms of their financial contribution. And the third family is actually sitting right here, Dr. Mani Bhai and Savita Ben Mehta. And the fourth family is Sarvamangal Family Trust, who are not here. Moving on to, we have a Jalak Durra, okay. I've been instructed where to hold the mic. Thank you, Raj, and thank you, Pradeep Bhai. We have a lady named Miss Rachel Hammerlin. I met her first time. I knew about her a few days ago when Dr. Sulek Jain asked me that she's going to be here, and she will like to say a few words to us for a few minutes about International Summer School of Jain Studies and her experience, but more importantly, who is she? She has Masters in Community Arts from New College of California. She has worked in Asian Art Center in San Francisco, and there she worked with artists with disabilities. She chaired the Outreach Committee of the Yoga Society in San Francisco, then completed Masters in Philosophy in Mumbai University and has spent 10 years in India. She coordinated the yoga teacher training program for foreign students, and currently she works in a program that is for community arts and environmental education that is sponsored by Maharaja of Kutch. Ms. Rachel, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you to all of you and to the hard work and dedication that all of you have brought to your practices and your teaching. I am simply a pipsqueak, a beginner, new to the study of Jainism. I participated in the Uberoi Foundation program this summer that Niranjan and Dr. Chris Chapu were a part of, and was exposed to the Jain tradition and became familiar with the International Summer School for Jain Studies, and was witness to the change that it made in people's life directly, and would simply like to encourage the encouragement that is provided to absolute beginners in the study of Jainism. And I'll keep it simple and short in lieu of time, and thank you.
Well, we have one more person to hear from, and before that, I'd like to give you a little more history about the winter school that we are going to have. International Summer School of Jain Studies, under ISJ's banner, has been doing this program of 4 weeks or 6 weeks every year from 2004. As you heard, 900 plus have been there. And Dr. Modi, yes, Dr. Jaswant Modi, said, why don't we do something in Gujarat? And he will sponsor it at least for the first year. So we are talking about summer that Harshendra Bhai Shah and Dr. Jitu Bhai Shah, who was here during Paryushan, are working and helping. But before that, when he mentioned about sponsoring, supporting, and winter is a good time to go to Gujarat. Unlike, sorry guys, Delhi is not a good place to go to in December and January. So Dr. Sugan Jain, who is the counterpart of Dr. Sulekh Jain, based in Delhi, India, and us came up with a winter program. And we have 25 people. It's going to be in Ahmedabad. And on December 30th, I'll be giving a little talk on end of life there, and then going with everybody to Palitana on 31st December. If you happen to be in India, you're all invited. Just let us know. And the program will end on 7th January. If you happen to know somebody who wants to go, we can still make it happen. So that's about winter program, and we are hoping that it will be an annual event and Loyola Marymount University will become part of it going forward. Now I'm going to invite Dr. Sulekh Jain back to introduce Mr. Chawla, who is going to talk about the education. Dr. Jain.
Nitin bhai, much lower.
You have just witnessed the signing ceremony of Bhagwan Mallinath, endowed professorship in Jain Studies at Loyola Marymount University. There are two features that I just want to share before I introduce the new speaker. Number one, Nitin Bhai mentioned that we have quite a new chairs or professorships or lecturerships or postdoctoral fellowships, quite a lot of concentration in this area. Normally, when people give major donations, even small donations, they want to put their name on it. But the beauty here is that all the donors, they did not want their names on any of those. They are called Bhagwan Mallinath, Bhagwan Rishabhnath, or Bhagwan Adinath, or whatever you, Bhagwan Parshnath, Bhagwan Mahavir Swami. So this is a very unique humility. They did not want to have a name and their plate and all of that. So far, starting from 2004 and up to now, an international school for Jain studies, and all these chairs and all these presents that we are having. I just want to give you an idea how much money we have collected and people have donated. It's very close to at least $10 million. Wow. So it's not a small amount. And in 4.5 years ago, in fact, one Dr. Harvinder Jain, Sahota, he also joined at Claremont Lincoln University when Jains were getting in there. So that time we made a kind of pledge, and that too in this temple upstairs, that wherever we will have Sikh studies, we will have Jain studies. Or wherever we will have Jain studies, the Sikhs will do the same thing. Okay? That's quite a lot. So at UC Irvine, in this very place, on August 12, 2013 or 14, whatever it was, it's so long ago, we signed for the Jain and Sikh chair, same place, same time, right here, sitting. Both of those were created right here. We also moved at Loyola Marymount, Jain and Sikh Study Center. Hopefully very soon we will be signing at a San Diego State University the same thing. Okay? So I think we are moving forward. So my whole appeal to you is the person who will give you a background why we Jains and Sikhs have to work together, should work together. We are support of each other. Is my very good friend, Mr. Arvinder Chawla. Arvinder, I have been to his house, and earlier part of this year, he gave absolutely great, fantastic welcome. And why, if you remember, your father worked with a colleague of mine, with a class of mine in India, so there was some kind of connection there. Arvinder is engineer by profession and public service for last 26 years. He serves as a board member in Newport Mesa Interfaith Council for last 5 years. He serves in the Orange County Sheriff's Interfaith Council since 3 years. He has visited Korea twice on peace program and attended the World Peace Summit. He served under President Bill Clinton in API in Washington from 2014 to 2016, and he was named in Crown Jewel of Punjab in 2016. And he is also on the board of the Jain Temple in Santa Ana. And there are many, many qualities. But more than that, he was untiringly, he was dedicatedly, he is a very visionary leader, and he is the one who is pushing the Jains and Sikhs, bringing them together on that platform. And with that, I welcome Arvinder Chawla and all my Sikh brothers and sisters here. We want you to join more and more as we make progress in this area. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a great honor to be here among all of you, and it was a great introduction. I think it was an introduction that was given by Dr. Sulekji. I think he visited, I think maybe we had a cup of tea, so maybe he's saying all these things in that return. But I don't think so, I deserve that much. But anyway, I would start with saying Jai Jinendra. And my name is Arvinder Chawla. I'm an engineer by profession in public service for last 26 years. And it's a great Thanksgiving weekend, and hope everybody had a nice Thanksgiving and did the Black Friday sale. If anybody's missing, there is a Monday coming. Just a reminder. It's a cyber sale. It's the same as Doorbuster. So even I haven't done it, I need to do it. So As per Sikhs and Jains, we have lot in common. As Sulekh ji said, that our 10th Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born in a Jain house in the 16th century, and he spent his early childhood in Patna at the place which is called Patna Sahib Takht. There are 5 takhts, and one of them is Patna Sahib Takht. And there is, as he already said, that the wall separating the Gurdwara where Guru Gobind Singh Ji was born, and it is on the one side is Jain temple and the other side is a Gurdwara. So that tells us that we have lot in common. That is why we are doing all these chairs with Jain and Sikh. And I was very surprised and very honored to know that when I visited with them, with Dr. Sulekh ji and Dr. Sahota in San Francisco, where they introduced themselves as Dr. Harvinder Sahota ji, he was introduced as Dr. Harvinder Jain, and Dr. Sulekh ji as Dr. Sulekh Singh. So that tells us that from last 4 years, they decided that whenever they will be together, they will be introducing them. And as Jain is the oldest religion and Sikhs is the youngest religion, Sikhs are 5th largest religion and Jains are the 6th largest religion. You know, whenever we meet each other in Sikhs, we call Sat Sri Akal. Sat means truth, Siri means wealth, Akal means eternal, and truth is the real wealth which is really internal. You know, Sikhs Americans have been in the US for over 125 years, and there are almost 1 million Sikhs in the US. Sikhism is an independent faith and the world's 5th largest religion. Signifying their commitment to their faith, Sikhs do not cut hair and we cover our heads with turbans. Sikhs believe in one God, equality among all, freedom of religion and community service. Guru Nanak Dev Ji founded Sikhism in the 15th century in modern day with a simple message. There is one divine for all creation, a loving, formless creator recognizable by all through meditation and service of humanity. The message of love of the divine and equality amongst all of the creation, regardless of race, religion, gender or background, was carried on by our 9 successor gurus and is enshrined in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. That is our living guru. You know, Guru Nanak Dev Ji simply taught us to be very respectful, tolerance, and forgive each other. His teachings were basically purity of life, to do away with selfishness. One must be brave and ready to save any situation of life. He believed in charity, truthfulness, and he condemned anger, pride, and backbiting. Sikhs are defined by their belief in one God, equality, justice, and community. They are taught to live their life values every day through the principles of worship, work, and service. The first Sikhs came to United States in 1890s to work in the lumber mills of the Pacific, in the farms of California, and to build the railroads. Despite violence designed to keep them from making US their home, in 1912, the first Gurdwara was established in Stockton, and it continues to operate today. Sikh American pioneers have tried to help their country fulfill its promise of equality, opportunity for all who call it home. In 1923, Bhagat Singh Thind, a third World War veteran, went to Supreme Court to challenge the laws that prevent Asians from becoming citizens. Following in his footsteps as a Sikh American pioneer, in 1957, Dalip Singh Saund became the first Asian Pacific American and the first Sikh American to serve the US Congress. Nikki Haley, she's a Sikh by religion, was our US representative to UN under Trump administrations. I think she resigned a month ago. And we also have in these elections a lot of Sikhs who have come up. The closest is Mr. Harry Sidhu, who is the mayor of Anaheim. He's also a Sikh. Today there are about 1 million Sikhs in states with gurdwaras all across the country. Despite the long history and contributions to the US, Sikhs Americans have been targets of discrimination, particularly following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. You know, Sikhs gurus have always defended the defenseless. Our ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, sacrificed his life for the Hindus, and Indians call them Hind Ki Chadar, as he saved India. And same Guru Gobind Singh Ji sacrificed their 4 kids for the sake of India. Balbir Singh Sodhi was the first fatality that happened after 9/11. He was shot and killed because of his articles of faith, making him the first victim of a fatal attack of 9/11 hate crime. On August 5, 2012, six worshippers were killed in an attack on the Sikh temple in Wisconsin, and that was the deadliest attack on any American house of worship since the 1963 attack on the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you all, and again thanks for inviting me here, and we hope that Sikhs and Jains continue to work together and have chairs, and hopefully we can cross 200 plus as Dr. Saab said. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chawla. Thank you, Dr. Jain. We are coming to an end, and I have a couple of things just to mention that Dhanvir Kaur Khalsa Chair, Presidential Endowed Chair in Sikh Studies, is sponsored solely by Doctors Harvinder and Asa Sahota ji. It's a $1.5 million commitment, and they've did it themselves. I have erred in some things when I presented everything. My humble apologies. Jains believe and are very big in asking for forgiveness. And when we do that, just for the knowledge of others, we call it Michhami Dukram. And Michhami Dukram to you all for my errors. Before we conclude, do remember to have tea and snack. I was preparing it, by the way. So if you like them, say thank you to me. And if you don't like them, I will tell you who prepared it. Before we conclude, I will request all to observe a moment of silence for the victims of California wildfires. Please. You may stand. Om Santi Santi Santi. Thank you. You may sit. Now, to conclude with a Naukar mantra, I will put Raksaben on the spot and request her to say Naukar mantra for us. Please, Raksaben.
Om Namo Arihantanam, Om Namo Siddhanam, Om Namo Ayariyanam, Om Namo Vajayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Eso Panchanamukaro, Sava Pava Panasano, Mangalanancha Savesing, Padmam Havai Mangalam, Padmam Havai Mangalam. Thank you.
Yes, right.
Next Saturday, Jain Center and many other organizations is sponsoring an event right here, 12:30 to 1:30 lunch followed by the musical event, and we're going to raise the funds for the victims of the California wildfire. So please spread the word around. We need all Indian community or all the communities' participation with the time, effort, and of course donation. They need our help on this Thanksgiving time and all the time. We know how much they have suffered, especially up in the north. The whole town has been wiped out and they have nothing left. So whatever you can do, please help, and we will have a big event right here next Saturday. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. I'm sure people are around. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Everybody goes. 25, please. Bye. Hey, nobody should need invitation. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Honey, you are invited too after you take a picture. Rajesh, you both come and you bring Pratibha in the end. Yes.
Look at me, please.
Say banana.
I'm coming now.
Button.
Okay. Very good.
Everyone should say ghee.
Pratibha, you want you also?
Okay.
Yeah, come on. Pratibha, come on in.
Go ahead. One second. Let me get a one panoramic. Okay.